Okay, guys, it's been a minute since I've made one of these videos, and some of you have asked for it. So, we're going to talk about some of the properties we have available in Memphis. We'll focus on one just to show you how to use the website. So, turnkeyinvest.com last year just killed it. 200 plus properties sold to investors, 20 million plus added to your portfolios. And, it's my job to find the best opportunities, create those opportunities, then bring them to you on a white glove service, silver platter, fully renovated, tenanted, and then offer awesome property management on the back end. So hence turnkey. So we've got a house in Carrington we're going to dig into at 38111. The zip code is University of Memphis area. Neely Road is down in Whitehaven, and brand new construction in the Whitehaven area as well on Bradcliffe Street. Can't get it out. Adelaide is a house that we're reselling for an investor who's decided to sell it. Great opportunity here. So it was recently renovated, written for $1,000 a month, giving you a 6.5% cash on cash return and a great price point, $116,000. So other ones we have coming up that are under renovation: Paulus Avenue, 6.5% cash on cash return. Ladue Street in the Fraser area, up by Nike's 3 million square foot facility where they ship all Nike apparel and shoes to North America from Memphis. 7.23% cash on cash return. Piney Wood is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath for only $108,000. And then 8th Road in this 38109 area, $115,000 house. So some great price points. These properties are being sold by an investor, so they're coming as is. Now, that doesn't mean that the house isn't in good condition. It means that it's not a turnkey property. We're selling it for one of our investors. Therefore, you're buying it after home inspection and that negotiation of what's fixed, what's not, all that type of stuff. So great properties, great cash flow available. 8 properties available. First time in a while that I've had some great inventory. A lot of you guys get frustrated with me because you want to buy houses, but they go so quickly. So here we are loading you back up. I've got more new construction coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. Get with Amy and Ryan on my team if you haven't already, and talk to them about what you're looking for so that when they become available, you can pounce and add another house to your portfolio. So let's talk about 3429 Carrington. Like I said, it's near the University of Memphis. This little map is really handy just to kind of get a lay of the land. All right, where are we? The University of Memphis, Memphis Botanical Gardens, Sherwood Forest would be the more specific neighborhood that we're looking at here. But right in the heart of Memphis. It's a good little area. It centrally located, and this house will rent for $1,100 a month. So what does that look like as an investment? First of all, it's undergoing a full renovation, $115,000 sales price. This house, built in 1940 but fully updated, is going to get you 8.5% cash on cash return, or $248 a month cash flow. So what is cash flow for some of the newer people? The rent comes in minus all expenses. 8% to the property manager to take care of all the residents and all those type of things. Taxes, insurance, debt service to the lender that you're using if you're not paying cash. All the expenses, including repairs, the money that's left over each month, cash flow. And then your 5-year projected return, taking several things into effect here, even depreciation of this asset. One of the big reasons we all invest in real estate. With your initial investment of 20% down in closing costs, you should see a $15,000 return over the next 5 years. So it's cumulative. It's taken into all factors, tax benefit, debt reduction. The resident is paying down your mortgage every month, little by little. Right below that information, it says Diligence Vault. If this is past your snuff test, the type of neighborhood you want to invest in, the kind of cash flow you want to see, that's when you would click on the button that says Diligence Vault, and that opens up a variety of documents that my team has provided for you to be able to perform your due diligence at a snapshot. So a serious investor is going to want to see a pro forma. So real simple: purchase price, closing cost of repairs, 0, because this house is under full renovation now. Your down payment, 25%, plus closing cost, total amount needed, a 30-year loan, 6.25% interest rates, and then so that gives you your monthly P&I. So we take total rent minus all expenses, your debt service, a vacancy. So we even factor in vacancy as an expense. A lot of providers that do what I do don't add for vacancy because it makes their numbers look better. But let's face it, guys, a 4% vacancy on a portfolio of homes is doable if you have a 30-day turnover time every 3 years on average for your portfolio. Management, 8% of the collected rent goes towards us taking care of the property for you. Property taxes, maintenance. So on this property, we have a 5% of collected rent for future maintenance. Insurance, using our master insurance policy, you get better rates, better coverage. And then your mortgage payment, that leaves the cash flow. So next, you want to know, well, how do I know this house is worth $115,000? So what my team does is we come in and we pick 3 similar properties in the immediate vicinity with the same bedroom, bathroom range, square footage range, age range, and finished product, meaning apples to apples. If ours has Formica, then the comparable should have Formica, not granite. If ours has hardwood floors and the other one has carpet, not as comparable. So all that's taken into effect to show you other comparable homes in the area that have sold recently. And then we have the property data sheet. Now, this is a sheet that I can provide to you guys as a real estate broker in the state of Tennessee and Mississippi on any of our properties. And it's going to give you all the data you could ever want, all the way down to the parcel ID number, the current taxes from the immediate source, not an estimate on the taxes, the bedroom, bathroom square footage, everything you could want there. Even at the very bottom, this is an important one. Is this house in a flood zone? No. We want to know that. That's on my checklist. If you haven't seen my checklist, I'll show you that in a minute. All right, so now that we know the house is worth what we're selling it for, the next thing we want to look at is Rentometer. So Rentometer is one source that I use. I also have an internal database of every property that I manage. I'll show you that real quick. So if you were to pull up a map of every property I manage, we know what we're renting them for, how quickly they rent, how long they stay tenanted, and how long it takes us to turn the property over. That's a better source than Rentometer. So then you have a handbook. So the handbook is simply everything you need to know about our company. If you get bored and want to read about us, here it is. So who we are as a company, what we provide. This is just a letter from me and my family about what I do here in Memphis. Next, some people ask, what does it look like to work with you guys? From beginning to end, a lot of people are right here in the discovery stage. They don't know what type of properties they're going to buy yet, what neighborhoods, what type of renovation that they're looking for, or type of resident they want to attract. So you might be in discovery stage, and let me and the team work with you to get you to the next one, which is take action. Buy that first rental property, or maybe it's your first one in Memphis, and grow a portfolio here that produces results. Then we go to purchase agreement. So we send you the paperwork, you sign it, we get you pre-approved with a lender unless you're paying cash, which about 35% of my investors are right now paying cash. And then hazard insurance. Are you going to use our company or your own? Maybe you are a veteran and you want to use USAA. Totally fine. This is just one option we're giving you. Then we're going to need earnest money. So $5,000 is required on any purchase except new construction, $10,000. So you wire that money to the closing attorney, and then the next step is inspections. So most of my properties are sold while they're being renovated. Once the renovation is completed, then we look at the scope of work. Did James do all these things? And we send you pictures of all the work completed. We then hire a third-party property manager, home inspector, who's going to go out and give their non-biased opinion of the quality and craftsmanship of my work. And he or she better find something wrong with my property, or every inspector can find something wrong with the house. My personal house, I keep it immaculate. I guarantee you, any home inspector could come out and find something wrong with my personal house. We're going to make those corrections if they're reasonable. If there's a crack in the driveway, every driveway, my personal house, has cracks in it. I'm looking out in my office right now. I keep my office up real nice. It's got cracks in the concrete. So we're not going to just, open up the coffers and start making repairs that are not needed. We're going to make sure you're buying a house. You know exactly what you're buying transparently. and that it's a great quality home because this is the start of our relationship with this property. Then we FedEx, because we're in Memphis, all the documents to you. You sign them, you send them back. The funding comes in either through cash or the lender, and then the attorney puts the stamp on it. It's your property now. At that point, we transition ownership from me to you in our software here at Foundation Property Management, and then we're your manager for years and years to come. If we've done a great job, rinse and repeat. Let's grow this portfolio in a big way. Foundation Property Management, who we are, what we stand for, maybe some of the reasons our clients have chosen to work with us here. I would direct you to one of the important ones here. The financial strength of who you're dealing with is important. So I don't say this to, impress you, but to impress upon you that I have built a portfolio of my own. I have other sources of income. I build houses, I buy houses, I renovate them, I sell them. I don't need to gouge my owners on the property management side. And it's against all my core values. It's against the way I was raised, it's against the way I believe. And so many people have chosen Foundation Property Management simply because they feel like there's not an alignment with the property manager. So maybe you bought properties from someone else and here in Memphis, and you feel like every time I'm losing, the property manager's winning. If you need to put a roof on your house, they're charging you double what James would charge on a roof. Or every time a house goes vacant, they're making these huge profits instead of being on my team and being in alignment. I can't get them on the phone. I hear that a lot of times when somebody has a property managed by someone else, they're considering our company. I call up there and no one will ever answer. I don't even know who to email when I have an issue. Well, that's not alignment. The next thing is that your property's cash flow. If there's no money left over at the end of each month, you're going to stop investing. So it's my job to ensure that your properties are cash flowing and that this is a hands-off investment for my investors. What does that mean? You don't have to follow up with me and my team time and time again. Where are we on this? Why isn't the house painted? Did you cut the grass? I got a letter saying you didn't cut the grass. Those things are going to happen. But are we proactively managing your properties? That is why, without a doubt, we're the fastest growing property manager in Memphis, Tennessee, is because of you guys. And if you have properties in Memphis I don't manage, let me just put it out there. Let's talk. If your properties are in decent areas and you have or are willing to invest the money needed to make them safe, clean, and functional, I'm your guy. Now, I'm not asking you to put granite countertops in or spend any extra money. I would look at every property you have as if I owned it myself, but I will not manage a property that is not safe, clean, or functional. I recently had a client say, I'm not going to pay to put fire extinguishers in houses. That's not an option. Every house needs a fire extinguisher, including yours, and I just put one in mine, so if I'm looking in the mirror, I didn't have a fire extinguisher in my new house that we just moved to. Shame on me. It's like the cobbler's children have no shoes. So guess what? I put a fire extinguisher in my house, just like every rental property should have one. And it is not the resident's responsibility to go out and buy a fire extinguisher, or else it might not be there. Tangent. All right, moving on. So next, this is an article explaining the Fannie Mae Freddie Mac loans. If you're unaware of what I call the 10 golden tickets, you need to read this quick article. It's going to tell you from the basics of what you're going to need to get started, including 2 of your most recent pay stubs, 2 recent bank statements. We all know that stuff. But it's also going to say, what kind of reserves am I going to need when I get to my 5th property, 7th property, 10th property? That is the number one thing people don't know when they get involved. And they're like, I had no idea I needed $38,000 in the bank to buy my 8th property. So read this. It's very clear. It's up to date. Today is April 11th, 2023. And this article is up to date. That is exactly what you need. It's exactly the reserves you need. And a lot of other good information about using your 10 golden tickets properly. All right. Build to rent houses. Number one thing, buzzword in this industry, nationwide, people are like, wow, James still has houses that are brand new and they cash flow. Well, I'm like, well, of course, I wouldn't be selling them to you. Well, I shouldn't say that because one day I might be selling houses that don't cash flow. If interest rates go way up in this, I don't know. But there are markets in the United States, a lot of markets that are building brand new houses, selling them to investors that are negative cash flow. It's still a good investment. I mean, the house will appreciate. It does reduce your tax, your income tax bill. I'm just a cash flow guy. I like cash flow mostly because it gives me cushion. If I'm renting a house for $1,800 a month, and very worst case scenario, I had to lower that home to $1,500 per month, it's still breaking even. Now, here's the crazy thing. I've never had to lower rents, even in a down economy. Because in a down economy, quality rental homes are at a higher demand. Well, that doesn't make sense, James. The economy's down. Why would your business go up in demand? Because with every foreclosure, a renter is born. People can go homeless, live in an apartment, move in with mom, or come rent a nice house. That's just one step down from the house they lost in foreclosure or whatever. So through a down economy, the demand for quality rental properties goes up. Build to rent, tried and true. It's a brand new house. It attracts more applicants so that you can choose from the best. And overall, out of my entire portfolio that I manage, 1,000 properties, a little over here soon, new construction, tried and true. A little expensive for some people's taste, and that's one of the probably biggest downfalls of new construction is the ticket price to get in. Down payment plus closing costs is much higher than a $100,000 house that was built in the 60s but then fully renovated. So I've got an article in here about how to define A, B, and C neighborhoods per James. Because when you look on my website and see that it's a B neighborhood, that would mean 15 things to 15 investors. So read this article and you'll be on the same page with me. I've gone into some real depth about what gives me an A, B, or C neighborhood, the percentage of homeowner, the value of the land. Read it, might not make sense right now. Crime, of course. Higher crime areas are not going to be A neighborhoods or B plus neighborhoods. Shopping, parks, and amenities. Think about you. When you chose your home, was it important that there was a Whole Foods nearby, or was a neighborhood Walmart grocery store just fine? Of course, schools are a big indication. And I will tell you this, Memphis has two issues. Our school system is less than desirable, and crime in certain areas. Now, I tend to stay out of the high crime areas as much as possible. However, I do manage some properties for investors who brought them over here just because they have other properties with me. But I like to stay out of the high crime areas. And schools, there's an answer. Memphis has 50 plus charter schools in town, and the parents have to be involved. They have to take the kids to school. There's no bus service. They have to wear a uniform, can't get in a fight. But your kids don't have to be excelling and, super smart kids to get into these charter schools. So no matter your income level, there is an answer to the school issue in Memphis. And then it says, should I invest in an A, B, or C neighborhood? It's up to you. But you'll see my thoughts here. Then there's an A, B, and C renovation. A renovation would be brand new construction. A B plus renovation would be turnkey. So new roof, new HVAC, hard surface floors in the high traffic, wet areas, and all the extras that come along with my turnkey renovation. And a C renovation is what most people have commingled with and called turnkey, but it's not turnkey because the roof's 25 years old, the air conditioning unit's 10 years old, the water heater's 8 years old, but they're calling it turnkey. So be aware. Be aware of the scams that are out there and know your stuff. Lastly, I want to show you this. If I would have used this checklist throughout my career, there's about 5 houses that I wouldn't have bought because they were in a flood zone. So if I was using my own checklist every time, but if you use this checklist in any city that you're buying in, this will save you lots of heartache. Now, if you have a realtor or turnkey provider, they should be able to fill this out for you and deliver it to you with white glove service. But if you're buying houses off of Zillow and trusting that the local realtor who's looking for a commission and never will talk to you again afterwards because they're not your property manager, they might not go through this in such detail. You're going to have to. So one way or another, you need to go through every one of these questions and make sure you know what you're buying. A couple of articles that they wrote about new construction. And now, lastly, foundation property management. This is the key to whether or not your portfolio is going to succeed long term. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have an eviction if you do this long enough. I've got a horrible eviction going on one of my properties right now. And I won't get into the weeds of that. But I mean, if you do this long enough, you will have one. You will have a tree fall on a house, and it might be on the neighbor's lot that fell on your property, but you're going to have to deal with that issue. Having great property management behind you when those things come up is key. And if any property manager is talking about unicorns and rainbows and how great real estate is without ever bringing up the ups and downs that are associated with this, then you need to run. I will say, without a doubt, it's been amazing to my family, real estate investing overall. All the junk I've been through, this horrible eviction I'm going through right now, the resident that left and tore my house up, and I got out there and painted it myself to save money, and in the long term had to have somebody else repaint it because my paint job wasn't good enough. All the things I've been through, there's not another vehicle that could have taken a guy like me to where we are and what we're able to do as a family, but more importantly, give back. So real estate's the answer for sure. You better have somebody that's passionate on your team to take you through the ups and downs and looking out for your best interest. So learn more about who we are as a property management company right here at foundationpm.com. If you've got questions, schedule a call with us. If you want to bring some properties over to us to manage, schedule a call, reach out to us and the team. There's also a live chat feature here that's monitored during work hours, 5 days a week. It's very helpful. And lastly, I told you I would show you this. So this is my internal database of properties that I manage on behalf of other investors for my personal portfolio, just to give you a sense of where we are in Memphis and how we track everything. So you can see every property that we manage in the Mid-South. So I go as far as Walls, Mississippi, where I built some home years ago with an ex-partner. As far east as Byhalia, Mississippi, into Piperton, Tennessee, and Collierville, very high-end area. A few in Germantown, the highest end area of Memphis, other than East Memphis, right off Poplar Avenue. I'm located right here in Cordova, so my office where I'm sitting right now is in this area. And this is a great area to invest in. A little saturated right now, to be quite honest, with other people who own rental properties here, including hedge funds. And then all the way around in a circle in Memphis from Arlington coming up into Brighton, Tennessee, where I built 16 houses not too long ago near our naval base up in Millington. And then coming down into the 38127, 38128 area code and everything inside the big 240 loop, which is our interstate system that comes all the way around Memphis. So we've got properties in every community where we have boots on the ground experience that can show you where you should and should not buy based on your parameters, not mine. Let me see if I can show you this. Let's see. Advanced. We'll go heat map. So you can see the areas of concentration, especially as you scroll in. Parkway Village, Hickory Hill, all of this area, 381118, 38141, a hot turnkey area. And look, if you put this map on any turnkey provider in Memphis that's been around for a while, it's going to look very similar. So, where to invest? Depends on the investor. Are you looking for a low entry point price home that's only $115,000? Then maybe there. If you want my advice, buy the nicest house you can afford, down payment, closing costs, because over time, you're going to be able to attract a higher class of resident that if they have to be evicted or if the worst case scenario happens, you have repercussions. You can sue them, you can win always, because we keep meticulous records and photos, but can you collect? Can you collect from someone paying $600 a month versus someone paying $1,500 a month? It's two drastic worlds when it comes to the collections. And as I talk about that, let me close on saying last year I only evicted 6 people. Filed a lot of evictions. But most people come to their senses, they figure it out, they pay it off, and they know, wow, that Foundation Property Management, they have nice houses, but they don't mess around when it comes time to paying rent. So out of 1,000 houses, 6 evictions, not bad. Great track record here because we have nice houses. We have a dedicated staff that's extremely passionate about what we do. If you want to learn more, go to turnkeyinvest.com to look about growing a portfolio. Reach out to the team, call that number, schedule a call. If you need great property management in town, go to foundationpm.com, schedule a call with one of our advisors. We'd love to be your boots on the ground here in Memphis, Tennessee. Thanks. Have a great day.